Some manga looks so unhinged, so out of bounds, you have to wonder how the artist pulled this off. This shouldn't be possible, and yet it is. And it's amazing. Art in manga is always so fun to talk about, if my multiple videos on the subject haven't made that obvious. While not always true, mangaka that can be identified by how abnormal their art style is compared to the field will have this reflected in their story. The willingness to take risks and break the norm does not just start and stop with the art. This doesn't mean that everyone will love what you do, or that there won't be flaws in the eye of the beheaded, in the holder of the eye. Something like that. Land of the Lustrous, for how amazing it is and how unique it looks, doesn't exactly have the most unique looking characters within the context of its own story at first. All hail the colored version. Same can be said with the Nie works. Who is who and what is going on and blam. Even JoJo's with such a captivating style that can be considered fine art, but man! Reading part 8 almost gave me an aneurysm. Moving away from familiarity risks occasional confusion. Not saying this is the case for everyone, but myself would be lying if I pretended it didn't happen. Still, the boldness to take a story in the direction you want, regardless if it adheres to the standard or trend, can be a breath of fresh air, which is always appreciated but at the moment feels sorely needed in the manga scene of new releases. This brings me to the Neato Exorcists. Yes, it is another Exorcist manga, but it isn't just another Exorcist manga. I dare say that out of the new releases, along with Chojin X, this would be my #1 recommendation. Yes, it's an Exorcist manga. Yes, the main character has black hair and a samurai sword. And yes, his motivation is revenge. But I am telling you, the way this manga visually portrays the story and the angle at which the mangaka Hiromi Ichikawa approaches revenge makes it not only stand out, but stand above. Gotsuji and Araka are the two primary characters of our story. All we know at the beginning is Gotsuji wishes to take revenge on an evil spirit in particular, and Uraka refuses to leave his side. The evil spirits look like this. Well, the lesser ones. And this. While some of them look like insane monstrosities, it was the more cartoony ones that really caught my eye. One spirit looks like a demon scribbled by a child with too much sugar. Another looks like it crawled out of a Salvador Dali painting. Every single one feels like a dare. Going in the opposite direction in terms of design for evil spirits helped keep me intrigued in the first few chapters before the story eventually does the rest. It isn't just the monsters. It's as if the mangaka went out of their way to make this an experience unlike any other manga you will read. If a panel allowed for the opportunity to do something different, it was taken, allowing a story about a samurai cutting down the forces of evil feel distinct. Some manga can be described as realistic. Others minimalist, abstract, messy, sketchy, bold, smooth, sharp. Buzzwords. If you were to ask me the art style of this manga, my answer would be yes. Typically, most manga that are new at the time, I tend to remain optimistic but skeptic, seeing the potential of a story to head in a different direction and impress me, but with a clear tone of I don't completely trust it yet. Yes, this could do anything, but will it is a different story. That tends to happen when you go batting hard for a series and then it proceeds to get worse with every single chapter after the fact. This, on the other foot, is not the case. Saying I love this still doesn't feel like I'm emotionally describing how much fun and awe I had while reading this. It wasn't just the action, but the paneling itself that is being played around with, leading to imagery that is not only really cool, but dare I say, iconic. Even just normal scenes of dialogue, you are drawn in. Not just because the dialogue is really good, more on that in a bit, but because even during scenes when discussing the nature of what they are fighting, is given the direction of someone working on a passion project where they want to fuck around with every inch of what a manga can be and not remaining safe. Not every manga needs this, since the artwork alone can do enough, but I adore how this chooses to be a showcase of imagination in the mind of an artist fully on display. Shout out Witch Hat Atelier. I want to say this feels like the love child of Fujimoto and Asano, although a friend of mine made a really good observation that there are elements of Samura, better known for Blade of the Immortal, in there as well. Not entirely in the art, since This really is its own thing, but more so in the story. What I mean is both Asano and Fujimoto are mangaka that are efficient in their ability to introduce a character and make them stick. Give them 10 chapters and they can give you a character. Others might take 50 chapters to give life. It is an impressive and hectic pace while bombarding you with emotional moments mixed with a level of absurdity that only makes it all the more unique. This is where myself would like to go back and touch on the dialogue. When you engage enough with something, you don't just react to it, but you can start to predict. In the context of playing a sport, this is a massive blessing. When it comes to reading at times, it can be quite the pain in the ass. Stories lose you at the very beginning, whereas you read it because every character says what you expect them to say. There is a rhythm you have come to expect in manga or anime, and the series could be playing right into the same old, tired out, boring rhythm. Characters say things because of the trope they belong to, and not because they are well fleshed out characters with a personality of their own. Characters in this will say shit where I have to double take or it catches my interest because why would a character justify their logic with, and I quote, because John F. Kennedy died? That's a real line, and it works, and that's fucking awesome. I'm not sure how the magazine is where this is published, but imagine being the editor who has to go to the higher-ups and be like, yeah. So I asked them to tone it down, and they threw ink at my face and maniacally laughed. In all seriousness, much like Yu Hayashida, creator of Dorohedoro and Die Dark, I would love to get the chance to ask all the questions. What is your favorite manga? What were your inspirations? How many revisions? What kind of juice did you drink? I started losing hope. I didn't think this was possible. Every aspect of this made me excited. The art, the dialogue, and of course the characters. Gotsuji, yes, desires revenge, but I wouldn't lump him in with all the other characters that desire such a thing. The way this story approaches exorcism and those who deal with the dead feels a lot less angry and cool, and feels a lot more mournful. Having a personal motive, but understanding and valuing his role beyond that. When some view the dead as simply dead, he sees more. Driven by the desire to honor their memory, for that is his duty. At least this is his character at the moment. So there is still a lot of room to see how he can grow and change, and the same goes with Araka, who once wanted nothing to do with her heritage, and now wishes to carry it with a level of honor. These two have a wonderful dynamic, and more to it within 28 chapters than some series have throughout multiple arcs, which helps when you keep your cast small, allowing for more focus. The cast has me, and there will only be more. There needs to be more. I'm tired of reading shit that has me hooked like crack and there not being more. The only thing, and I'm gonna knock on whatever this desk is made out of, that the main villain is amazing. That's the only thing I see fucking this all up, and I cannot have that happen. Visually and as a concept, the main villain behind the murder of the person Gotsuchi cared about is super sick, and there is so much potential sitting there. I look back on Hell's Paradise, which has an amazing cast, but sadly the big bad of the series left a lot to be desired. Symbolism is cool and all, but that can't be the only thing your character has to offer. I don't know how Hiromi Ichikawa is getting away with this. The art, the direction, the characters, it's all so weird, so bold, it feels like something that shouldn't exist, but I'm glad it does. Most manga that I would consider myself a fan of are ones that have a lot more story or are completed, but this made me a fan. So go ahead and read it. I hope you like it, and I'll see you on the flip side.